What up, peeps? Welcome to the Kisscapades podcast. I'm your host, John Telewa, aka the Kissbandit. And in this show, we explore the key elements that shape our fulfilling existence, from health and well-being to financial success, meaningful relationships, and the pursuit of happiness. We cover it all. Our guests include experts, professionals, and everyday individuals who have remarkable stories to tell. Tune in to learn practical tips, gain valuable insights, and discover strategies for personal growth and transformation. Whether you're seeking to improve your health, build your wealth, enhance relationships, or find lasting happiness, we got you covered. Welcome to today's episode. So another amazing episode with a new guest. I reached out, she responded, and she's definitely here on the podcast. So thanks for coming to the show. But before, we start anything, I'm just ready to have a conversation. But just introduce yourself, tell the people what you do, and then I'll take it from there.
Yes, thank you for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Rochelle Hawkins. I am an African American that has repatriated to Africa, specifically Nairobi, Kenya. I have been a content creator for about 4 or 5 years. I've been to over 30 countries, 11 African countries, and I also do digital marketing. So I wear many hats, and I'm just very excited to be here today. So
over 30 countries.
Yes.
30. That's a lot. That's a lot. And crazy enough, of course, even just to start off the conversation is most Americans don't travel at all, or they just don't really go out of their way to explore other different countries. So where did that come from, even before I go to content creation?
Yes, so a little bit about me. I was in the United States Navy. I joined when I was 17 years old. And they shipped me off to boot camp. And then at 18, I moved to Italy for 3 years. Yes, my first work assignment was in Italy, and that's where the travel bug bit me and my travel journey started. I traveled throughout Europe for 3 years, and then after that, I just realized that it was always going to be a part of my life. I learned Italian a little bit, also a little bit of Sicilian, but this was 10 years ago, so it is very rusty.
No, but you can speak, actually.
Yes, and also Spanish and Portuguese. So after leaving Italy, I moved to Latin America for 4 years. I lived in Mexico. I traveled through Central America. I've been to every country in Central America. I lived in Brazil for 2 years, Colombia, even Southeast Asia a little bit. And then I traveled through Africa at the beginning of this year. I went to 11 African countries on my backpack adventure. And then I decided it's time to move to Africa because I do believe that Africa is the future. And Africa has a lot of amazing things to offer. So that's why I decided to move here. And it's been amazing, just collaborating with people and settling down, experiencing the rich cultures.
And I think that's the thing that I think I liked about your channel, because even for how I try and just scout and look for guests, it's just people who are doing unique things.
Right.
And I just kept on seeing, I couldn't even wrap my head around it, because I think I saw the last video I saw, because I was just trying to go through your channel, were you staying in New York?
Yes, I went to New York for my 30th birthday.
Oh, so that's where, because there's a video where you're packing a lot of things in your suitcase and everything. So that was your apartment.
Yeah. I think that might have been an Airbnb when I was possibly going to New York. And then I made another video of me moving to Kenya where I was packing and stuff. So, yes.
And it's crazy because, sorry, I just got deflected because my light went off there. Yeah. But it's all good. So, So the thing is, why Africa, though, or why Kenya? Because, even if you think about it, I don't know whether you've heard the story so far. A lot of Africans are just trying to go to America.
Yes. That is something that is very common.
Nigerians have just been crossing, by all means necessary, trying to get there. And then here we do have, somebody who's just moving away from America.
Yes.
Which is just... It seems have you talked to other people and the way they talk about America, it's the promised land?
Yes, a lot of people do believe it is the land of milk and honey, the promised land. And I
Yes.
could understand their perspective, especially due to American media. I do think that American globalization, and the American media is a large factor into pushing the American dream and, is a reason why people fantasize. But the United States can be a hard country, and also I just feel like I seen what I needed to see. Like I was actually in the United States during most of COVID, and there was times where it was really scary. And also, I genuinely developed a passion for traveling and learning languages and immersing myself into different cultures, which is why I do enjoy being a nomad. Although I am settling down more stable roots now, I'm a nomad. So I think that that's just a part of like my life path, my destiny.
But even if I was to ask you, because like the biggest thing that like even for my case I've seen with travel, like I always just kind of like get homesick. And so it's kind of hard for me, especially like I think I did my first Euro trip last year, and after a month I was just over it. I was
You
just
were
like,
homesick.
what?
Oh, wow.
First of all, the food. Have you eaten
Yes.
Kenyan food?
Yes.
I mean,
Compared to European
what?
food. Yeah.
No spices. I mean,
Right.
first of all, that just everything just tasted like there was no taste in the food.
Yes.
If you compare with like how we have organic food, the spices that
Right.
we use, you'll notice our food is kind of different.
Yes.
So for me, that I think I actually miss the food more than the people.
Wow.
I'm sorry, guys, but because when you wake up, the first thing you do is eat. Lunch
Right.
you eat, and dinner you eat. Of course, you miss the
Yes.
people, but even like let's just say like maybe friends or family. When you're moving across the world, like just the way you're moving,
Right.
constantly like on the go, you don't miss people in your life, people you grew up with.
Yeah, that's also another thing about me. I had a very chaotic childhood where,
Oh.
yes. So I think that,
I'm listening. Go
yeah,
on.
I think that also shaped my, maybe my worldview, my view of maybe relationships and things like that. I was raised by a single father, and he was actually an over-the-road truck driver. So we traveled a lot, we moved around a lot for his job, for work. And so also my childhood involved basically a nomadic lifestyle where we moved around a lot. And so I think that shaped my personality, and that's why it was very easy for me to adjust to a nomadic lifestyle in my adult life and also traveling abroad. I have a lot of similarities to my dad. I have his height. I'm like actually
You're
probably
tall.
yes.
You're tall.
I'm as tall as my dad. My dad is probably 6'2". I'm 6 feet tall. Like I really feel like we have the same personalities. We are very similar. And also when he was younger, he moved around a lot. He would just in the United States, So I feel like I really took after my dad in a lot of ways. And my childhood did involve a lot of moving. I did, meet a lot of my family and stay in contact with a lot of my family growing up. But me and my dad, we lived further away from them. So I think that's also another reason why it was easier for me to maintain long distance relationships with my family. So I think a lot of my childhood experiences prepared me for the lifestyle that I'm living now.
Actually, it makes sense because
Yes.
anybody else, if you ask them, that's the one thing that always like just takes a toll on someone. Because like even
Yes.
just making constant calls when I know I can be there,
Yes.
it's just like almost like a no for me. So like staying away for like a whole year to me would be
Yes, it would be
quite
very difficult.
stressful. But if you think about adulting in general, people do get posted for work in different places. Like you said, even if you join the army and you've been sent to a whole different country,
Right.
I think it's just like a maturity thing as well, because it can happen. Even if you're accustomed to where you stay, you'll definitely at some point need to,
Yes,
especially if you want new experiences, growth,
exactly.
change your mindset, and all those things. So now also like one more important thing that I would even just input in that is like, and how do you manage like just finances in general? Because we're talking about moving to lots of
Yes.
different countries.
Different continents, different, yes.
Yeah, and like research says it, not me. Like even like when we watch like CNBC, Fox News, they'll have like this data. There's this thing like I saw where they said like your average American doesn't have like $500 in case of an emergency. I mean, don't quote me. Quote CNBC, Fox News, all those guys. They did like that kind of polling thing.
Right.
And it's because like most people are caught like in the rat race. Yes, you're making money, but the tax is high.
Yes.
The rent is crazy, definitely. If you've stayed in New York, that's crazy.
Yes.
Food.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
We haven't talked about entertainment.
Yes.
That's crazy
Yes.
as well. So for somebody who's traveling a lot, how is it able to like balance that and even still like, make sure you don't run out of money and also you still add, have you published like some book that sold millions or
No.
maybe you're recouping, just enjoying like, like just fruits of your labor.
Yes, I will say that in a lot of ways, I am enjoying like the fruits of my labor due to the hard work and the investments that I made in the past. And also digital content creation allows me to work on the go. Monopolizing digital careers is a big reason why I'm able to afford the lifestyle that that I live, which I'm really grateful for as well. Yes, and I do think that saving money is very important. To be honest, as a traveler, especially a budget traveler, sometimes you do kind of develop like a YOLO type of lifestyle. Like, when you're budget traveling, you just figure it out, you budget your money. But I actually recently turned 30, and as I'm entering my 30s, I realized I don't want to travel like that anymore. I do want to travel smarter and travel more comfortably. So that's why I'm taking time out to settle down and pursue investments. And so that when I do start traveling again, I'm going to be traveling like next year. I can travel more comfortably and be able to enjoy the experience without the wear and tear on my body.
What do you mean by, that you cut down costs on like budgets for travel?
Yes, like when you backpack, it can be very hard on your body. Staying in hostels, like uncomfortable beds, dorm rooms, public showers, walking miles every day, carrying like a 40-pound backpack. My body was in pain, on my backpacking adventure earlier this year. I was like, I'm almost 30. My body does not feel the same as when I started traveling when I was 18.
But you know why I'm laughing? Because it's only white people who do that. I've never seen any black person do like that crazy backpacking experiences. Even in Kenya, if you picked a spot and you went there, you'll notice it's all white people.
Yeah, really.
Like, let's say like
true.
a majority
Europeans,
will just be, because they're always like with big crazy bags. And for myself, I'm always looking at the bags and I'm like, there's no way I'm doing that. No way. I'm always trying to think of like, okay, how's the next option? Instead of me like just having like a crazy big bag or like on my shoulders. So and I think that's why like even for my Euro trip I really did save for like a couple of years before because I could have tried and cut down on budgets, but I'm sure the experience wouldn't have been the same.
Yes, it would have been more of like a character development type of situation.
There you go.
And
I think I've told people like the experience in traveling is very different when you're on a tight budget and when you're on an okay budget.
Yes.
Those two are two completely different experiences. You can go shop a bit, sleep in slightly better places. Food options are slightly different.
Yes.
So all those things. And like you've said, like that's something that now you're trying to move into more comfort, kind of.
Yes. Like, because I do want to pursue more luxury travel experiences, especially elevating my brand, my travel content creation brand. I would like to collaborate with luxury brands and luxury brand trips, and it's also a part of elevating my career. So that's why I'm taking time out now to settle down, focus on more of a lifestyle content with travel, highlights. And then the next time I travel, I want to revolutionize, my brand and the way that I present my content as well.
For how long have you been doing your content?
For about 5 years. Well, I would say, if you ask me, I would say about a decade, because even when I lived in Italy, I would take pictures. Like it's always been a part of my personality. I would take hundreds of pictures and I would post them on Facebook and I would make albums. And, I think that's content creation.
I was that kind of person too as well.
Yeah. So,
I'm the person who used to take so many pictures.
Right.
And my friends always used to ask me, like, why do you have to take pictures?
Yes.
And 10 years later, now we look back at all those memories and they're like, man, we did have a good time here. I remember this experience. So.
Exactly. Like, I even had an old coworker tell me that taking pictures on vacation is stupid. It's a waste of time. And I was just like, that's such a small-minded mentality.
I can't be friends with you after you say that to me. No.
But it's funny because 10 years ago, travel content creation was not even a career. It was just a hobby. So that's why I say I've always been a travel content creator, but the industry has completely revolutionized to where people are making six figures, like careers out of it.
Crazy money, like on just like YouTube. And now there's streaming platforms that have opened up.
Right.
I mean, that's not something that's picked up in Kenya, but what Americans are doing right now, just saying like, are you into the streaming community? Do you know, are you keeping up with them?
The very, briefly, like I know
like
Kai Cenat,
oh,
Duke
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Duke, of course.
Duke
all
Dennis.
the way in Africa, Duke.
Yes,
of
Duke
Dennis.
Dennis. Yes, so they're
like
clips.
What they're doing, like it's crazy. It's a whole new
millions of dollars. I think Kai Cenat makes like maybe $2 million a month.
Yeah,
like just showing his personality, vibing, hanging out. That's crazy.
Having fun with your friends. Yeah, and all your friends start earning the same amount of money, probably by just affiliation.
Have an entourage. So it is a whole new. Well, streaming is not new, but it definitely has peaked, and I think regular people like Kai Cenat, Duke Dennis, it provides people the representation, especially in the Black community, to make them, believe that they can do it too. Especially
for the Black community, because also for the biggest time, I think we never looked at it as like, something like Black people can just do and make a personal brand for where people just like you for your personality.
Right.
We had like, your Kim Kardashians and everything. But you see the numbers that Kai Cenat pulled off in there.
Yes. I think he did a 1 month marathon, 24/7. That was crazy.
Nobody has ever done, like, that was the biggest, like, probably reality show that was most entertaining, engaging, guest celebrities. I mean, people like Chris Brown don't even do interviews. Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart does interviews. But Snoop, you see all of them coming in there.
Beyonce doesn't do
So, I mean, like, it really opened eyes and doors to so many other different opportunities and ideas on how far content can actually take you. As a Black person as well, I also have to put emphasis on that. So especially for like your case, when you're traveling and you're talking about staying somewhere like Italy, how is it easy? Is it difficult for you to blend in? Because you are Black. I did realize I was Black when I was in Europe. Because I'd walk in somewhere and, not in a bad way, but you'd notice like, okay, you catch people's attention because you are just because of your appearance.
Right.
So is that something that was hard for you to deal with? Or, how was it? Just because you've done it for such a long time. So
Right.
It was strange for me. So
as an African-American born and raised in the United States, that is like basically the foundation of our experience. Like you become very aware of your Blackness at a very young age. But in Europe, it was more magnified because at least in the United States, they know that Black people are there. They know that we're a part of the culture. We're a part of the foundation. But in Italy, we're not very common. We're few and far between. So when I was living in Italy, there was a lot of staring. People would literally just sit there and just stare at you shamelessly. And then, usually if you look at somebody that's staring, they look away. They don't look away. So
they actually give you that like icon. Italy was just strange for me. And then after a while, I was like,
so in Europe, it was a different dynamic because they don't have a lot of exposure to Black people. So that's the only difference I would say. But as an African American, I was used to being sometimes the only Black person in my class or the only Black person, in, a certain environment in the friend group or things like that.
But that was just okay for you. Like, it wasn't like hard for you. Because like I said, like a lot of like even Americans might just isolate themselves when they travel. Europeans are slightly different. They're the ones you'd be rolling around with lions, chasing Maasai people. They'll do like a lot of crazy things, but Americans are more like reserved to what they like and what they're used to. So I'll even if it's, like I even had to get you right with the water,
right, the premium water, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I'm just like, hey, just in case. Case.
But yeah, I would say for me, what was the question again? Sorry.
Sorry, I'm just saying like, how did you manage to actually like just balance that? Because like Americans are more like reserved to their culture and ways of doing things. But here you are like in Europe. How easy was it for you to just adjust?
Yes, adjusting in Europe was actually quite easy, especially because I had the privilege of being working with a company that sent me abroad. So when you're working with a company that sends you abroad, they take care of your visa for you. They move everything for you. They paid for me to move there. They paid for my housing.
Oh, accommodation and everything.
Yes. So that was a huge privilege living in Europe. But when I moved to Latin America, I was 100% solo. And that was when my eyes really opened to like, wow, the company that I was working for took care of everything for me. And I had no idea how much really went into moving abroad until I moved to Latin America solo, Mexico solo.
Wait, is it expensive living? Like, which places were kind of like financially draining living?
Let's see.
Because we can jump around. Because the thing is like, I'm even trying to think of one country to pick. Then again, you said you've been in over 30 countries. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just ask which ones were like kind of financially straining.
Yes.
And then we can just hop around with.
Well, funny enough, my Africa backpack tour was the most expensive travel tour.
But I've said it before.
Especially including visas. Visas. I've never paid so much for visas traveling.
You need a
in my
visa
life.
in Africa.
Oh, especially with an American passport, you can get crazy.
No. Wait,
yes, most countries.
Am I just talking about? But you don't need one in Kenya, do you?
Yes, well, they don't call it a visa; they call it an ETA. But it's a visa.
Oh no, that was introduced recently, but it never used to be there in Kenya.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it actually just was recently introduced.
For Tanzania, it's $100 for a visa. For Ethiopia, it's $80. For the ETA for Kenya, I believe it was $35. Yeah. For Nigeria, it's about $300.
What?
Yes, but yes. For Cameroon, there was times where I researched Cameroon. It was $300.
That's ridiculous
for a tourist visa. But South Africa, it is visa free. Like Namibia, Botswana, Cape Verde, Senegal, the Gambia. So there are some countries that are visa free. I believe Morocco. For Egypt, it was $25, which is not bad, but. The most expensive visas that I have paid have been for Ethiopia and Tanzania.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Oh, and then also like another thing, and we'll get back to the visa situation. If you've noticed, have you tried checking like the flights from like just even Kenya to Tanzania?
Yes, the flights are very inflated.
It's the same as going to Dubai from Kenya.
Yes.
That's
and the crazy
ridiculous.
part is if you fly from Africa to Europe, it cuts the cost in half or vice versa. Which is just, math is not mathing.
I think we saw this like on TED Talk, and there's a lady, I've forgotten her name, and she was trying to explain the only problem like now with African countries, they've made it really, really hard for us to like just intercross like different countries that are even next to us.
Right.
They're just quite expensive to go, like, or maybe a visa situation, or paperwork that you might need when moving around, and even the cost of living, like also in Tanzania. Is a bit like, especially if you're a tourist, it's slightly costly.
Right.
Now, holding like an American passport, what are some of the privileges that you've noticed you have with a passport? I know if somebody kidnaps you, they're sending people to take you. They're sending people to come get you.
I don't know about all that.
Really?
I don't think that, because even in Kenya, I went to the embassy to get help because I had a question. And they was just like, we're not involved with Kenyan. We're not. Like, they was just like, what do you want us to do about it? And I was like, well, I'm an American citizen, and I just want help from the embassy. Yeah. And they was like, we don't get involved with anything in Kenya. I don't know what you want us to do about it.
Wait, what happened? Was it an emergency or something that just,
it was just an
something
emergency.
you can talk about? Or no?
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, probably not a lot, but it was basically I wanted an attorney. I was looking for resources for an attorney
Yeah.
or how to proceed with like a legal situation, but the situation didn't even end up escalating. But I wanted to get ahead of the problem and see if I could get some type of resources to just how to solve it because I was new in Kenya. And I went to the embassy and they were just like, what do you want us to do about it? That's literally what their attitude was. So there was really no protection. I mean,
Yeah.
I would like to think if there was a kidnapping, maybe they would have a little bit more urgency.
Yeah.
But if you just need support or help, like the
It's
U.S.
not that
Embassy,
easy?
yeah, they really, it from my experience, they're really not worried about it. Like they strictly handle maybe immigration issues.
That's
But
unfortunate.
so I think that is a little bit of a myth. But maybe if you're a white American, yes.
Oh, we forgot about that.
Yes,
Oh,
I
okay.
think if you're a white American kidnapped
Yeah.
in Africa, that would make headlines.
True. Actually makes sense.
Yeah, but for me, they was like, "What do you want us to do about it?" Because it was just a situation that I had with the Airbnb host. Yeah, and I was just like, "Okay, I don't know where this situation is gonna go, so let me go to the
What
embassy."
happened? Because I think I've also had like a previous guest. But for her case, she grew up in Europe. But, just so many incidents with Airbnb. And I'm always trying to recommend for people, if like and I think even I saw like on your YouTube, because you are hopping from one house to another.
Yes.
And then I was kind of like trying to think of like, should I message her or like just wait till I know her so that I can tell her like, just get a place, rent a place, put some stuff in it. And then I think you'll be more at peace.
Right.
You'll have your privacy and everything. Wait,
That's actually what I've already done.
you've done that,
this
right?
month.
Yeah, because I was just about to ask you, like, I
Yes.
think you're just doing. You won't really have like a smooth running if you're trying to stay here for like a year.
Yes.
It's gonna be like too much for you.
Right.
So now I'm sure you've noticed like it's kind of.
The Airbnb situations was chaotic. I was in like 4 different Airbnbs in 3 months. I think the first Airbnb that I went to, actually, it had a lot of black mold, and I think I got a respiratory infection.
You posted that like on YouTube, right?
So yes, so I do recommend getting an apartment. I wish I would have gotten an apartment like maybe my second month here. Maybe took a month to see what neighborhood I wanted to go to.
You didn't have people to advise you on or anything?
Well, I had moved to, it wasn't my first time moving abroad, but I was also just seeing, I was just taking it like week by week, month by month, also figuring out if I wanted to stay here long term.
Oh,
so
we make that decision.
Yeah, checking out what neighborhoods. But yeah, I had been in contact with realtors. Like I have some acquaintances that are realtors that gave me advice and stuff. So I had resources and information, but I was also just taking it, week by week and seeing what the future held.
Oh, okay. We'll go back to other different countries. But so far, like, just what do you think of Kenya?
Yes, I'm really enjoying it. There's a lot to offer, definitely. The people are friendly. The food is good. And I decided to move here because even when I was traveling throughout East Africa, there were Tanzanians and Ethiopians that were talking about how much opportunities are in Nairobi. It's just like wherever I traveled, Nairobi was the highlight. Everybody had raving things to say. Ethiopians were even talking about how they wanted to go to school here. How
Really?
they were telling stories about how they traveled to Nairobi. They took a road trip to Nairobi.
That's
and it was so
crazy.
fun. So Nairobi seemed to be the center of everything that was happening. I also knew that it was like a creative hub, a tech hub. I do digital marketing. So that was why I decided to move here to just further my career, my tech career, especially as a content creator. That involves a lot of tech, obviously. So yes.
And you need good internet?
I think my internet is good. I have just 60 megabytes, I believe it's called, and I have a Wi-Fi extender, so my internet is good.
Oh, okay. I know I was asking, like, compared to other countries. I hear there's some places if you go, like, the internet is just something that,
it's
almost like
optional.
a favor. It's almost like,
Yes,
exactly.
that is actually one thing I realized backpacking through Africa. Like, internet is a privilege. Which, beforehand, I never really perceived internet as a privilege because it was always accessible. It was like the bare minimum.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a part of my everyday life.
Yeah.
But traveling through Africa, sometimes I didn't have phone data. Sometimes I didn't have, network. Sometimes even if I did go to a hotel room, the connection would just be so poor. And I was like, wow, like when I get internet, I feel like I'm lucky. Like it's really a privilege that not a lot of people have access to. And that is one thing that backpacking opened my eyes to.
Yeah, and once you land in Nairobi, you'll just notice like internet, and that's like a priority. Like, if you're in the remote places, you can still access like your TikToks, your YouTube. Like, I think that's like one of the best things like about Kenya. And also, like, now with that being said, I don't even know which other country I should pick and ask questions about. Said you've been to South Africa?
Yes.
Did you stay there for a while? Or
for about a month?
Like...
Yes, I went to Johannesburg, Cape Town, Bloemfontein, and yes, I think that's about it. And so, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Which places would you say like are just, the most memorable from places you've touched down or lived?
In South Africa? Or generally?
No, in general. Hey, no, let's not put... You've already settled in Kenya, so we do know that Kenya has something special to offer.
Yes.
But like just some of the best memories, because like, I think for my case, I would say Barcelona when I did my Euro trip. Or Amsterdam was good as well.
Yes, I loved Amsterdam.
Amsterdam was good.
Yes.
And it's just like almost like a storybook when you go to other different places and you experience something different, culture, food, weather. So what's more memorable, like from all your visits? Because it's just, I look at it as too much. But the special thing is that you're doing content. And that will always keep the memories on. Contacts, network.
Exactly. I think for me, the most memorable country, the first thing that always pops in my head is Thailand. Thailand will always have a special place in my heart because it really just opened my eyes, especially as somebody who's been traveling for over 10 years. It's hard to go to a country and get a very unique experience that I've never gotten in any other country. But Thailand was unique because when I had went, they had just decriminalized marijuana. And so there was ads, there was billboards of dispensaries, which I don't know if we could talk about it on your podcast.
No, hey, what? We can talk about everything you want.
But like I just remember walking down the street and seeing a billboard with the ad for dispensaries with like weed on it, like, and then there was cafes like what is it called? Like I guess smoke shop cafes.
Or like Amsterdam, where they do in Amsterdam.
Yes, they had infused coffee, infused milkshakes, and even I went to a Michelin star restaurant that had infused food on the menu. And that crazy. Just blew my mind. Like, and it was all new. Literally, the marijuana had been decriminalized about a month before I traveled there. And so it opened my eyes to just a whole nother world. And there was dispensaries popping up on every corner. Everybody was excited. Tourists were traveling there in record numbers. It was just like being able to witness a whole new industry just being opened up was also a very unique experience. Like seeing dispensaries like popping up like every single corner, or there would be signs that says like this dispensary is opening soon, talking to people about it. Like, it was just a crazy experience.
You know what? You can just say you like smoking weed, right? You're so passionate when you explain it.
I actually had a business in the United States.
Really?
Selling edibles. Yes, like I've been really deep. I used to extract, cannabinoids and all that stuff from marijuana. I used to make my own
edibles.
Really? Yeah, they can be unpredictable.
Because I don't know about the quantity. Like, not unless it's somebody I know who knows is telling me, like, okay, if you take this is enough. So otherwise, I wouldn't even dare.
Yeah, it can be unpredictable, especially if you're a lightweight.
So wait, how's the weed in the States compared to any other place that you've gone? Because, I'm sure you've been to Jamaica as well, right?
No, not
Wait,
yet.
what?
I haven't been to the Caribbean.
What?
I need to go ASAP.
Oh, yeah, that should be like... isn't that like a stone throw away from like the States?
Yeah, it is. I've been to Caribbean regions, but I haven't been to the Caribbean
Puerto Rico
islands.
or Dominican?
I've been to Belize. And, even throughout Central America, the east coast of Central America is connected to the Caribbean Sea.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Caribbean regions, and there's a lot of history of even people from the Caribbean traveling to the coast of Central America. So Belize is a Caribbean country. Nicaragua, I don't think it classifies as a Caribbean country, but it has the Caribbean coast. Costa Rica has the Caribbean coast. Honduras has a little bit of the Caribbean coast. So I've been to Caribbean regions, even Panama. I've been to Caribbean islands in Panama that had, Caribbean culture, but I haven't been to the Caribbean islands, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So,
like almost like the main one that you should
yes.
Yeah, I think Jamaica, you'll definitely have I haven't been, but I think that's also like a place we don't even need a visa as Kenyans to go.
Okay.
So I think that's like on my bucket list for sure.
Yeah, I don't think I need a visa either. So yeah.
So now, wait, there's something I wanted to ask before I forget. No, at times if I don't interrupt someone, my chain of thought can just go like this.
Right.
About which country? You've just mentioned it.
Thailand?
No, one of the Caribbean regions.
I've been to Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, Belize.
Yeah. So place like Nicaragua, right? That's something that I've never even heard of. Like, what would make you say I want to go to Nicaragua? It's a content creator you've seen, or do you just spin the globe to go to the next place that you want and pick a place?
That's actually an interesting story because I had lived in Mexico for about a year. And I had decided I want to see more. Like, I'm not ready to settle down in Mexico yet. So I decided that I wanted to go on a solo road trip through Mexico.
How are you doing the solo thing, though? I mean,
because you can't wait on people.
I respect. Oh, but that's the thing.
You can't wait on people.
The WhatsApp group never leaves. It never leaves.
People
never
cancel.
That's true.
If you wait on people, you will never travel anywhere. You will never live life.
And that's the saddest part. You will keep postponing. And even at times, it's something as simple as going for lunch.
Right.
And we'll be like, oh, no, I can't make it for this one. Let's postpone to okay. So back to how you pick specific countries and just...
Yeah, so for me, it was just, I guess, organic evolution. After I left Mexico, I was like, okay, I want to see more cities in Mexico. So I drove from North Mexico to Southern Mexico solo. I went to over 10 Mexican cities over the course of, I think, about 2 months. And then I
So hold on. When you go to one place, you decide I'm going to stay here for a week or two.
Yeah.
You simply just go around looking for accommodation.
Airbnbs, I would book it ahead of time.
Airbnb.
Yeah.
So how are the prices fair when you're moving from countries and cities that are close to each other? How's South America finance-wise when you're spending money there? Is it easy? Is it cheaper?
Cost-wise, yes, I do think when I was traveling throughout Latin America, I would get houses outside of the center, which is a little bit cheaper, which was about a 30 to 40% decrease in price.
Wait. We want to talk about numbers here. I'm curious because I would want to know or even somebody who's watching and they want to travel. The first thing, let's just be honest, the first thing that should come to your mind is finances.
Yeah.
So definitely numbers do help people even just think so it wasn't as crazy as I thought, because some Kenyans can blow up to $500, $600, $1,000 in a weekend drinking.
Right.
And they've never left the country because they don't know anything else to do. Kenyans, the one thing that they know how to do is drink.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So the one fun thing that people can do is that. So if you're engraved in that culture as well, you might not explore a lot of different things. But even for anybody else who's just probably watching, I think numbers are very important. So don't feel shy in throwing numbers out there. As long as it's not your personal accounts and stuff, just throw out the costs.
Yes, my road trip journey, it was about 3 years ago, but I would say in Mexico, the average night on Airbnb, you could find a place for an average of $20 to $30.
What?
Uh-huh.
That's the same as, even Kenya is probably, you might not, it's even tricky to get places for $20, $30, right?
Especially good quality. That is one thing I learned. I tried to take the cheap route. Cheap is expensive. Cheap is expensive. Yeah. That's when I learned okay, I have to spend a pretty penny to get a good place on Airbnb. And that's when I was like, I might as well just get my own apartment at this point. So I'm very glad that I have my own apartment. It's very spacious, and it's actually cheaper than like places that I got on Airbnb, which was much more smaller.
Yeah, and I could see the frustration. I was just like, first of all, I don't know which YouTube video you posted. I remember there's a house you posted, and I was like, yo, why are you staying there, first of all? I think it's the house that you said had mold or something. Isn't it the one that you had like to put your hand like in and the padlock thing, right? You can even cut yourself and get tetanus, right?
So and I didn't even know that the lock was there. It was a lot of firsts. And also that was like 2:00 in the morning. Like I had just gotten back from the airport, and that was my first time ever seeing a lock like that. Like I had never, but it's not common. I thought it was common.
No, it's not common. Okay, in some places, yes.
In the hood.
Yeah, in the hood. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay.
So I was just trying to think of like for somebody who's coming as a first, for your first day, you don't even know the environment, how it looks and everything.
Yeah.
It's not a place you go directly. Like you said, like, okay, not unless it's like the last resort and like, okay, I really need to cut down on this.
Right.
Then for sure. But before you know the environment, I don't think that should be your first option.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Okay, so back to like the Mexico. We'll come back to Kenya. I have so many questions, as you can see, and I'm just eager to ask. So moving to different Latin cities and everything, $20 to $30, right? What about things like, I think maybe food? Do you cook or do you go and eat out?
When I'm traveling?
Yeah.
I would say there was times where I did miss cooking, and I tried to cook whenever I had like a good kitchen. But yeah, I would eat out. It was very economical to eat out. Like, tacos are very cheap. You could buy like 2 or 3 tacos for a couple dollars. And so, yeah, you could spend maybe about $5 a day, especially if you're just eating mainly street food. So yeah, it was like a very economical eating, but sometimes it was even more expensive to buy groceries and cook.
Really?
Yeah, compared to just getting a quick bite at a restaurant or street food.
Is that the same in Kenya? I would think it's cheaper cooking. I don't know.
I would say, for me, I don't know if you've like heard, but a lot of expats, they are more attracted to supermarkets, which can be very, very expensive.
No.
Like for me.
Oh wait, like what are you? Are you buying the food, or are you buying the groceries and then going to prep your meals?
Yeah, like going to buy groceries at the supermarket, like Naivas, can be very, very expensive.
Is it?
Yeah, it can
No
be
way.
Like easily like. There's been some expats, even on YouTube, that say that they spend $400 a month.
No, that's not possible. What are they buying?
Imported things, American things.
Oh, okay,
that
maybe that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if you're just buying like your greens or like your beef, chicken, I think it's way much cheaper. If you have like a fridge, you can do like your meal preps and everything.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I would say street food and like normal choma can still be cheaper than buying groceries, depending on where, because I think for you as a native, you know where to go. You know how to, bargain. You know what to look for.
Okay, but I know the options that I have. I know if I walk down like the road, I know where I can go and get something quick. But at times, actually, even for my case, I just still buy groceries at the supermarket. That's the crazy thing.
Okay.
So I don't understand. Why are they buying $400? What are they spending?
What's your monthly budget for groceries?
Probably it would be less than 200.
Okay.
Maybe 150, because I'd buy weekly.
Okay.
So that, because I want like fresh produce. So
of course.
I do make my smoothies at home, and I cook a lot. So I do enjoy cooking.
Okay.
So I'd go get like maybe like whole chicken or a set of chicken wings.
Okay.
My green sauce spinach kale, like tomatoes and everything. So I'd buy like for a week. Yeah, probably less than $150.
Okay,
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's actually a pretty decent budget. I would say for me, it's about the same. Especially
So that makes
as
sense.
I learn where to shop and like learn markets to go to.
Yeah. Because like I'm more, okay. And then like another thing, like when you're traveling, something that, do you have like, what do you call it? Do you have like an international medical cover in case of an emergency, or how do you operate with You know, because you're going to different places. Somebody might serve you today like some tap water and you're really thirsty and then you drink it and then maybe fall sick, or maybe, you know, like food poisoning. I'm sure you've come across all those things when you're a traveler.
Yes.
So how do you deal with such things? Do you have like an international card that you just whip out and, you know, you're taken care of, or you just adjust to different places and take care of?
I think I do have travel insurance. There's companies like Safety Wing, you know, that have travel insurance for emergency situations.
What's the scope of like the cover when you say?
I would say broken bones, like severe illness, like, you know, things like that. You would just put in a claim, you know. So yes, there's travel insurance, but then there's also more comprehensive health insurance plans through companies like Blue Shield, which offer international health insurance, which covers you in more than emergency situations. But even for me, like even when I get food sickness, healthcare is a lot more affordable abroad. So it's very affordable to just go to the store, get some Pedialyte, get a few medications, and just rest.
Because it's kind of compulsory to have medical insurance, right?
Yeah, like in the United States, medical insurance can be very expensive. Most people don't have it because it is actually corrupt and very expensive.
Is it optional or is it compulsory to have medical?
It's optional. Yes.
So when you travel, so for your case, when you travel, have you ever fallen sick or needed to actually go to hospital, get medical treatment in a certain country?
Yeah, a few times. Like, and it really sucks being a solo traveler, getting sick.
Yeah, it has to be
even
crazy.
like injuries. There's been times where I've fallen and I was bleeding and I just had to go to the pharmacy and just get, you know, a bandage and bandage myself up.
What?
And keep traveling.
And keep traveling.
Yeah, like
What's wrong with you? What's wrong?
That's just the reality of traveling. Sometimes, like if you fall and you hurt your knee,
Yo.
who's gonna do it if you don't do it? But there has been a time I went to the hospital because
What?
I really was like sick, and even that sucked because I had nobody to take me to the hospital, so I just got in the Uber, went to the hospital. I took the Uber home. Like, yeah, it can really suck. Solo traveling is not as glamorous.
It's not.
people.
It's clearly not easy,
Yeah.
and that's the worst thing that can happen to you. Just imagine falling sick, or you have like this crazy headache, stomach. Like you don't have anybody to call.
Yeah. And like even if you're weak, even if you're like fatigued, you still have to get up and go to the pharmacy and then just come back home and take care of yourself.
I think that's why, like, even after I did my Euro trip and came back, like, I really took, like, even just like cooking and stuff really seriously, because now I was like, I need to be more careful so that even if I go somewhere, I know there's a certain food that maybe I would want to try. If I have my recipes, the place that I'm in has a kitchen, I would definitely cook. If I know I'm staying for like a week and there's a kitchen, I'm doing my meal preps.
Yeah.
So that I can eat whatever I want without like thinking about like the cooking oils that they've used. Some certain, like, you know, people are just using, it's not crazy because it's normal to them. Because I remember like in Germany when they served us this chicken that was just, it looked white. It was just like white.
No seasoning?
No. And then that's not even the worst part. I've never seen like white sausages also that just look like, you know, because we used to like what we eat back at home. And I was just like, I can't. And even on top of that, the taste is like, it's just flat. There's nothing. I can't feel the flavors or anything. It was just weird. So I'm thinking like food, definitely. That's the one thing that I think can mess me up, like when it comes to me. But other things I think I can withstand.
Did you try the fermented fish in Amsterdam?
Oh, what's that?
It's one of their traditional foods. It's like a fish that they ferment, and it's a popular food that they eat. But a lot of tourists try it because
Fish is sensitive, though.
Yeah, and a lot of people say that it's nasty, but it's also like a part of the experience.
No. Hold on. Part of the experience doesn't include me dying.
You're not gonna die.
Wait, how was it? Did you try it?
Yeah, I tried it. And it was nasty, but it was part of the experience.
But you don't fall sick from it, right?
No, it's a part of their like traditional foods. Like, you know, they prepare
It's nasty, like, because fish, like, does it smell bad?
Yeah, it smells bad. Like, it doesn't make you
How
sick.
is that exciting for you to try? I don't understand.
Because I guess like as an adventurous person, as a foodie, you know,
I'll enjoy that experience from your content.
You'll enjoy watching.
I'll enjoy
right?
watching, yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, that's interesting though. That's interesting. Also, like, okay, since we've mentioned foods, what are some of the dishes now that you've liked across the world?
Wow, across the world, I really liked Thai food, especially how economical it was, how fresh it was.
Oh, they have like the street foods and
Yes,
it's always fresh.
Yes, like the noodles, you know, pad thai. Like it can be very spicy, which I really like.
Like spicy food?
Yeah, you don't.
I can't handle it
You
anymore.
can't.
I used to, but now I can't anymore.
Okay, but yeah, so even in Brazil, I loved Afro-Brazilian foods, like moqueca, which is a soup that is made with palm oil. Acarajé is similar to akara in Nigeria.
What's that?
Acarajé is a bread that is made from bean paste. I believe it's called black-eyed peas in English. And so they make a bread from the bean paste, and then they put shrimp in it, a little salad, a little vatapá, which is like a shrimp paste. It probably sounds like a whole bunch of random things, like, you know, in English, but it's really good. And so, yeah, like I'm a foodie, I'm a travel foodie. And one of my favorite things is experiencing foods, being a little adventurous, just traveling, like immersing. I feel like that's a part of immersing yourself in the culture too.
True. Food, but I think for my case, food, I would say anything with, no, I don't like European food. There's nothing I'd like from Europe. I would eat because I'm there, but I don't think, maybe in Barcelona, that's where like kind of started getting like spices. Even if it's chicken, you're getting chicken that's a little bit with
Did
more
you have
flavor.
like the custard pies?
What's that? What's that?
Wow, it was like
Where was that?
Like it's like a little. It has a crispy, you know, little bowl, and then it has egg custard in it, and then they bake it. You don't have a
But you
sweet
know
tooth?
that what I need to do now. I need to do. Do you normally have like a to-do list of the experiences that you want to go and have when you're going somewhere?
It depends on it depends on the tour. Sometimes I do make more of a detailed itinerary, but just as a guide, if I know I'm going to be hopping around a lot, but then sometimes I might just go day by day.
Wait, do you party?
Not a lot, especially as a solo traveler. Going out alone really is not my thing.
It's not. Because like the Euro trip, we did like a group thing. So I guess my explanation to why I missed out on a lot of experiences, we were really just having fun.
Yeah.
It was like a month of just fun. And then, you know, you're staying at one place for maybe 3 days. So you have to like enjoy everything in 3 days. And then you're going to a different city as well. And where else was it? I think France as well. It was just one of those places where the schedule was so compressed from going to like the Mona Lisa, different historical places that you're going, but you have so little time. So I think not unless you have a guide on like, I want to go to this specific place, I think you might miss out like on, I missed out like on a lot, quite a lot, especially when I talk about food experiences.
Yeah,
if you have a hangover, you don't want to start.
Right.
Who wants to start experimenting with? No,
Yeah.
you don't want to experiment with food.
Yeah.
You just want something to eat and get on to the next day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So okay, food. We're still back at food. So where else? What else? What other kind of food would you say sticks out? Maybe.
Yes, I love West African food. I haven't been to West Africa yet, but
Have you been to Ghana and
no,
Nigeria?
Not Nigeria. The visa, I do want to go to Nigeria next year, and West Africa in general next year.
Those are the two places that all Black Americans now are going. Is like Ghana and Nigeria. So
yes, especially there was about 500 African diaspora that got citizenship in Ghana recently.
What?
Yeah, like 500 African diaspora got citizenship.
But they just want to move there.
Well, I think it's mainly about just the sentimental value, also the access to having a passport to be able to freely move in and out. Yeah, but
sense.
I don't know if all of them permanently move there,
Okay.
but they have the citizenship. Yes.
What does it take to have like a citizenship?
Oh, I have
somewhere?
no idea. I know that.
Is that something that interests you to
Yes.
get like, there are those countries that you can get, is it dual citizenship?
Yes, I am interested in getting dual citizenship in some country, but I think even for Kenya, there's some visas that can be a path to citizenship. For West Africa, for African Americans, we can get citizenship through our lineage, our ancestral lineage.
Really?
If we have proof, like a DNA
Wait, that's a
test.
thing?
Yes, it is a thing. I don't know all the details about
Okay,
it,
yeah.
but people have successfully done it. They took a DNA test to prove that they had ancestral lineage in Ghana, maybe Nigeria, West Africa in general, and they were able to get citizenship because it was a part of them just reconnecting with their roots.
And if I may ask, what's like this obsession with Ghana and Nigeria? Because I think Kenya, we get really overlooked when Black Americans are planning their trip. It's Ghana and Nigeria, actually, just those two.
Yeah.
So why is it like, do you
South
think
Africa is
like
also
South
very
Africa?
popular.
Yeah. Okay. But I think people just like, it's just Ghana and Nigeria. That's what I hear
Yeah.
for the most part.
I think
Even Kai Senat donated 20% for his like.
Oh yeah,
The
I know
thing
he went to
to an-
Nigeria.
yeah.
I think the year of return in 2019 attracted a lot of people because Ghana invited the diaspora to the country to reconnect with their ancestral roots.
Ooh.
That was in 2019, and I think that started a lot of the travel and tourism that really boosted their economy. It generated over $1 billion. The year of return, it generated over $1 billion. So yes, also as the African diaspora and African Americans, during the transatlantic slave trade, most of the ports were in West Africa, specifically Ghana. So it is a part of them learning about the history of their ancestors and stuff like that.
So even if you do like the DNA test, I'm guessing most people find like their roots are in Ghana and Nigeria. Like let's just say that
Yes.
portion of West Africa.
Yeah, like for my DNA test, it said that I was about 35% Nigerian ancestry.
35%?
Yes, and then it also said that I was East African, like about maybe 15% East African ancestry.
Oh, that's strong as well.
Yeah, it just was all over the place. I even had some Southern Africa ancestry. I had I think I had about 20% Ghanaian ancestry. So it was just like, it was cool to see, but it was really all over the place too.
When you're moving around in like all these, let's just say African countries, does it give you like that cultural fulfillment when you're interacting with people like, just Africans who look like you, or maybe where, like your roots are from this place especially after you've done, what does that make you feel though?
Yes, when I had first traveled through Africa earlier this year, actually, it was very fulfilling for me because I was able to just reconnect and realize how natural the culture felt for me. Even when I took a South African cooking class, and it just felt very natural, like the pop, which is called ugali here. They call it pop, and they cook it a little differently. It's very similar to grits that African Americans eat. I'm not sure if you've heard of grits.
It's grits.
Grits, it's a corn product, but it's just a little bit
different. It's also like mushi, the same as ugali and...
Yeah, but we cook it a little bit differently where it's like more like porridge. It's a corn
come on
product.
now. There is no... no. That's blasphemy. Porridge? No way.
But it's good. We add
that text is
cheese
different.
and butter to it. And then we put shrimp in it with... Yeah, you got to try it.
Okay. I'll just keep an open mind. But that's such a big contrast.
Yeah. So we make it softer to where it's more porridge consistently. And we eat it with eggs and bacon sometimes. It's a breakfast. We eat it for breakfast.
Oh.
And then sometimes there's a dish called shrimp and grits. Where we put like shrimp and seasonings and, on top of it, butter. And so, cheese.
It's interesting, but it's so, that's such a huge contrast for what, because even like the texture wise with the West African, is it, it's fufu, right?
Yeah.
It was so soft that my hands didn't understand what,
Right.
I did eat and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But because I think also it does have, I think the West African has more nutritional value because it has like,
more
the
spices.
cassavas and I think all those things.
And it's
mixed
fermented, which
Exactly.
adds nutritional value. Yeah.
Because for us, it's just corn. It's just like plain corn.
You like your ugali hard though?
No, I used to, but not anymore. But now I just need something like, just something nice, tasty, but not that hard. Like, it's
like you can cut it with a knife.
No, it's never that serious.
Okay.
It's never, like how ugali, if it's that hard and then it gets cold and then you go and try and just even touching it, like it's a weapon. It's a weapon. Like this is supposed to go to my stomach. Right. No way.
I've seen people cut it with a knife, like
exactly. Yes. So I mean, like right now, I'm in this era when I'm like really watching what I'm eating, balancing my meals, making sure I get the perfect nutrition, and also like I exercise a lot as well. So I'm just trying to, because I'm also in my 30s.
Yeah, I have noticed, like in Kenya, they have balanced diets.
We try.
Yeah, the greens, ugali, stew beef,
Yeah, actually, the thing in Europe, I noticed people don't eat greens.
Right.
It's either, you have people who can, or starch or salads.
Yeah.
So it's either like a whole plate of like just green things.
Right.
And then you have people who just love bread, a lot of bread, pizza, bread. And, like your pastas and everything.
The charcuterie.
Yeah, but you can like ask, for us, we'll have like a bit of like, meat. We have like our greens there and then we have our starch. We kind of try and balance the meals, which is just like cultural.
Yeah, that's good. It's the Kenyaji way. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, you even have like your terms and everything on point.
Yeah.
I see you. Okay, so what other experiences are you just trying to get, let's say, from Kenya? Other countries, like I have so many questions, but I think so many other questions I'll have to save them for part 2 because I know you're still in Kenya, right?
Yes,
for a whole year.
So I would like to stay for the next year or 2.
That's dope.
Yeah. So in Kenya, I came here to really hustle and get my businesses off the ground and really just take my career to the next level, especially in tech. And that's why I love collaborating with people, and I've been networking and just really like hustling, In Brazil, I had a very relaxed lifestyle, especially living in a beach town. And now I'm here to hustle.
Yeah. Have you been to our coast region?
Yes, I've been to Mombasa.
Isn't it more laid back? You can't compare to Nairobi. From Mombasa, you can just
night
chill.
and day, and it's a lot hotter.
Oh.
Yes.
You just want to sleep, eat, enjoy the beach.
I think it's just like a beach town thing. The beach makes you too relaxed.
Lazy, relaxed. You're not in a hurry to do anything, but we have like some of the most beautiful beaches, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I don't take for granted also about Kenya. We do have really good weather.
Yeah.
Because think about like the rest of the countries right now. Everybody's going to winter.
Right.
Canada, I would never.
Right.
Even if you paid me, I would never.
Really?
I wouldn't.
Wow. New York City.
I wouldn't.
Wow.
Not during winter. I can go there like just for like
you got
summer
like a
when people.
six-figure job.
I don't think I would.
No, yeah.
No, I mean,
it's not
six
for
figure makes sense,
your
but
mental
still,
health is important.
think
too.
about like the taxes in New York, aren't they crazy as well?
Yeah.
New York and LA, especially LA, I hear it's like close to 50%. So making that, make 6-figure, but how much does an apartment cost in New York?
The input and the output is just, it's a constant output.
Yeah.
Which it's easy to glamorize making 6 figures, but when it's equal input output,
like you don't even get any luxury.
That. Yeah.
Plus, I mean, think
no
about
disposable income left over at the end of the month.
New York, you can't. First of all, there's traffic everywhere. You can't even drive. Right. Even if you have money, you still have to take the subs. And I wouldn't. I would just go there to visit.
Yeah.
Take my pictures.
Honestly, I agree.
Take my pictures in Times Square. Do my dances there.
Right.
And keep it moving. Keep it moving.
Because I actually, when I went to New York, I loved the visit there. But even my friends, they were like, "You're not getting the New York experience. Like, usually the homeless people are more aggressive. Like, there's not even that many crackheads out today. Like, you're not getting the real New York experience."
You see, that's
why I was just like, I really enjoyed my visit there. But the more I thought about it, I was like, would I live there? No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a place that maybe you go visit and then just go to a different maybe state and everything.
Yeah.
So which state did you like spend a majority of your time growing up?
I was born and raised in Indiana, so I did spend like my about 17, I would say about 15 years of my life there. Yeah, and then I did move around to Ohio a little bit, and then I left the United States when I was 18.
That's early.
Yeah. I left home when I was 17. But then I came back to the United States in 2016, and I lived in Chicago for almost 4 years.
Which part of Chicago?
Just Lincoln Park. Yeah, so Lincoln Park, Lakeview area, Chicago, Illinois. And then that's when I moved to Mexico afterwards.
Okay.
I lived in Arizona for a little bit. Yeah.
Because I think you're just like a perfect person to ask so many questions about. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I think of something, I'm like, okay, so how is this place? How's the food there? What's the price in this? It's just because, like, I think, and even when people talk about travel, like, you can't even put a price to such experiences.
Yeah.
You've experienced so many different things.
It is invaluable.
And I think even like just now, if we come back to something like your YouTube channel and what you're doing, and I'd say like it really stands out. It's like I could see somebody who's just doing a lot of things independently. Was that hard for you, like just figuring out, wait, didn't you say you have like a camera guy who's helping you around in Nairobi or something?
Not any longer.
Oh, wow.
So, I don't know.
Hold on. I was just like, hey. I was like, hey, isn't this fancy? That's what Duke Dennis is doing, Kai Sinat. I was like, but I'd say for my part, like, it's so hard trying to prioritize. The same way you feel and prioritize your things, it's not the same way somebody else next to you would. So for my experience, I've tried working with interns, and for my case, I'm not talking about everybody else. It's useless.
Yeah, it's hard to get them to see your vision.
Yeah, it's gone. First of all, like that's already hard. Just trying to train somebody to get to understand why you're doing it.
Right.
And secondly, it's going to cost you money.
Right.
So I'm always like, I'd rather edit till 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yes.
And then
have
tomorrow.
it the way you like it.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then tomorrow I can go take myself out, eat something nice.
Right.
Go
Save your money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go to Amazon, pick something I want.
Right.
Go to Fashion Nova, pick something that I want. But I am not paying anyone to share with them the skill that I have, because it's already too much work.
Yeah.
So it has to be, probably if you were to get somebody was to ask me right now, they want to be my assistant or help me with my work. I would ask them first thing, do you have a YouTube channel? Let me see your social media presence.
Right.
Because if they're not active, they wouldn't understand why something is important to you.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, that's the struggle that I realized as well. Like, it's just, I spent more time training them and managing them, and it actually took away from my job.
Yeah.
It's just like, you have to manage them, train them, correct them, keep them on track. And it's like, I could be spending this time just editing my own videos.
you just do it and then just treat yourself with the money. So, and I think that's also like, I think a lot of content creators, who else was saying this? This lady who's done like a couple of movies, Lisa Ray.
Issa Rae?
Yeah, Issa Rae. Yeah. Issa Rae. She was talking about like if you can edit, like that's one of the biggest advantages of the things. Because even at the middle of the night, you have an idea on how you can do like your B-rolls, your interviews. You just hop out of the bed, do the corrections and everything. Because now imagine trying to call your editor and they're like, I'm traveling.
Right.
Me and my boyfriend, me and my girlfriend. I mean, electricity is not working. I just want to hold myself accountable.
Right.
So because I know how important it is to me and how far it's gotten me as well.
Exactly.
See, so I mean, I understand that part as well. Man, that could be the most frustrating part. And then now when it comes to things like monetizing on your content, do you monetize your content?
I would say my travel content creation career really took off on TikTok. I have over 114,000 followers on TikTok, but there's no money. Like, from my experience, it's very limited money. But on YouTube, I have 4,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm making more money with my 4,000 subscribers.
But you know the craziest part that I think, what I like about like America, you have amazing systems. That's the only reason like you'd see these kids driving Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
Because we do not have that in Kenya. I know people with like millions of followers on TikTok, at least over 100K subs on YouTube, and they don't make any money from it.
No money.
Nope. Because our systems and content monetization policies, the government hasn't really focused on that.
Okay.
So, and I think for most people that I've talked to, even like Americans, they were talking about, or guys from Europe, they were talking about like, if you have like 1 million views on a YouTube, on a TikTok video, you could possibly get like over $1,000. Do you know how much you can do with that in Kenya?
Right.
What? I'd be dancing outside right now.
That's like
I'd be doing my TikTok
salary.
dances. What?
Yeah, right.
I'd be dancing outside. But you know, like unfortunately now, like for a lot of content creators, like it's not really easy, not unless you partner with a brand. That's where now people start making decent money to come in.
Partnerships, yes.
Exactly. That's where you make money. But for American systems, especially if you opened your account there, I think you can still like earn from like the American, what do you call it?
Industry, I guess.
Industry, I guess, and the way like it's tangled to everything else that you're doing worldwide. You'll still collect your dollars.
Yeah.
And if you're getting your dollars, have that thing you call, you know, what's the term? Geographical arbitrage, right? Because you're earning in dollars and you get to spend it in Kenya shillings.
What about
must be nice.
user-generated content and affiliate marketing? Are those possibilities here? Like UGC?
I know, but I know what it means, but I mean, very unlikely.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's why also, if you think about like even personal brands, if we look at like some of the biggest content creators maybe in the States, or even your average content creators, they still make decent money. We were talking about like thousands of dollars. But in Kenya, it's kind of very tricky. And even most people like give up on the journey because of, they're like, no, I have these subscribers and I'm still not making money.
Okay.
Or somebody still has to do like an 8 to 5 or another business on the side, and then use like your social media as a place where you mold like your personal brand. You build your personal brand and presence on social media, which now attracts different jobs. Okay. But if it was for purely from like just your numbers, it's very, very tricky.
Okay.
Yeah, because like the government has to, you know, talk to Uncle Trump right now and fix things. And even wait. Now something very important I have to ask you. Because, you know, we can't ignore American politics. Not unless you're the type of person like, I don't touch on politics or anything. But just right now, who were you vouching for? Kamala or Trump?
Yes, I voted for Vice President Harris.
See, I have my Trump hat over there, right?
I didn't see it. No.
And I've thrown it away already. It even has like the Trump hair and everything.
With the wig on it.
Yes.
Wow, the toupee.
Okay, but the only reason like I just support, and you have to understand like how the American culture, even just by traveling, have you noticed how strong the American culture is to the rest of the world?
Yes, absolutely.
Music,
especially
movies,
Black American culture.
It's strong everywhere, worldwide. So for somebody like Trump, it's just because like historically, I've always seen him interact with a lot of Black people. From your Michael Jacksons, him being in UFC every other weekend, but also like just even policies, things like the crypto policies and how he's boosted the market, like just since he was appointed. Those things for me were important because they impact my life in a third world country. If you're in Kenya, you'll notice a lot of people complaining about the government. But hey, if I can buy crypto, the same time an American can buy crypto and enjoy the same benefits. And first of all, in the States, you do have like your capital gains tax is almost is it 15-20%? I don't know.
Yeah. So how much crypto do you own?
Bunch.
A bunch, okay,
Good
you told me to be honest
No,
about
no,
the
no, no,
numbers.
no, 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 no. I can't,
Okay,
Hey, listen.
okay.
It's just
But
like the same way in the States, I mean, you'd
can I
have
ask which
IRS in the States, right?
Yes.
You can't just blabber out and the IRS is just like this. You said what? You earn how much?
But which cryptos?
I have Ethereum. I have Bitcoin.
Bitcoin reached 100K, right?
Yeah. Oh, I should have worn my Bitcoin necklace. But Bitcoin, Ethereum, I do have a bit of Doge, XRP, but my major ones, a big percentage is Ethereum and Bitcoin.
Okay.
But it's because those are things that I had started to work with during COVID. That's when I was introduced to crypto.
Okay.
And crypto is such, I don't even know, like if you're in a country where you're suffering, just buy crypto, you'll be okay.
And do you feel like it's too late to join Bitcoin?
No.
It's never too late.
Because the US government, Trump said he wants Bitcoin, like he just wants America to be like the main hub for Bitcoin. Because for the longest time when Joe Biden was there and Harris, of course, Miss Harris, respectfully, they were really not pro-crypto people. So they really made a lot, they made it really hard for the, and just
with
the crypto
policies?
Yeah, not approving policies. Now Trump is talking about like trying to include it in the government reserve, like a small portion of it, and just making it more crypto friendly. And let's grow it to the biggest potential we can, because people are leaving the States to go to places like Thailand to actually enjoy crypto benefits. Because if you cash out your crypto gains in the States, now they do the tax deductions, which were probably, I don't know if it's between 15 to 20. But do you know in Kenya how much the proposed tax for crypto is?
How much?
3%.
Okay.
Proposed. It's not even enforced yet. So basically right now, if I sell my crypto, all the profit I just get to enjoy.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Tax free. So I mean, listen, whatever Trump is doing out there, hey.
You're with it.
Of course.
You're going to ride with him to the end.
And you also have to understand we're in a country where, like, of course, Kenya is a very good country. And it's the same with a lot of African countries. But there's one thing that's very common, a pattern in a lot of African countries, corruption. Crazy, crazy corruption. So even your kids can go to the best schools. But if they finish school, where are they getting employed? It's kind of tricky. And, taxes still keep going up. And everybody's complaining about cost of living. It's not easy right now on your average Kenyan.
Yes, I have definitely heard about that. I've even heard about young people dying from high blood pressure.
Suicide, high blood pressure, and just
crazy.
stress in general.
People in their 20s dying from high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Because it's just that much stress.
Stress. And depression right now is like an all-time high. But all the factors come back to finance. Of course, finance and a little bit of social media, because Kenya right now with social media is like just a toxic relationship with a lot of young Kenyans, because they're looking at the lifestyles that Black Americans, successful Black Americans are living, and they want that in a third world country. I think I had somebody on the podcast and I was talking to them because they were like, I think 21. And they were just talking about everything. And, I remember we were just having like a back and forth of throwing ideas and everything. But, she threw like Rihanna and Kim Kardashian in the conversation. And I was just trying to explain to them, like, you've picked somebody like who's like, I don't even know where you put Rihanna, a billionaire. You've already compared yourself to Rihanna. When you're walking outside your door, understand like, if anything doesn't go any direction that you wanted, you'll be hugely disappointed because you're comparing yourself to like a whole. You can't compare yourself to Rihanna or Kim Kardashian. That's crazy. Or am I wrong to say that? I'm not like those people.
Yeah, I mean, like comparing herself, like in what context? Saying that you aspired to be them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess they say reach for the stars, but I mean, you definitely have to have a plan if you say that you aspire to be like them, and you have to,
I'm talking in the context of like, look at where we are in the country we're in,
right?
And do we have systems in place that will favor everything that you're doing? Because we have to be realistic. Because even in our YouTube, like I've said, the same views that you'd get for your YouTube and mine, if we got the same numbers, whatever you'll get paid as an American is not what I'll get paid
So
as a
what's your
Kenyan.
CPM?
I don't even know. I don't earn from my
okay.
YouTube.
Okay.
I don't depend on it because I have other things, but
Yeah,
other
it's definitely
opportunities.
not enough to make a livable wage for me.
No, but no, wait, but okay, we're not talking about your business, right?
Yeah.
But in general, how much would an account like yours probably generate?
Like
monthly?
for my YouTube, like right now, I haven't been posting very consistently, but like right now, I would say about 15K
15K what?
shillings.
Or Kenya shillings?
Yes, for my YouTube with like
Okay.
4,000 subscribers.
Oh, okay. So but that basically would take care of things like
Groceries, maybe
groceries, transportation.
yeah.
So if it's
Household goods.
but it would still do something, and that's 4K subscribers,
Yeah.
which is actually very good. I have, let's see mine.
Okay.
Let's see mine.
Because I know Kenyan YouTubers that are monetized.
Yeah, but they're not unless they're lying about how much money they're making, because people just lie. But
Yeah.
you can't compare like with what an American channel can with the same numbers. It's not the same thing.
Well, even with the VPN, a VPN that doesn't make any difference.
I'm not sure. Okay, because like you see, my subscriber count is at
So we have about
4K.
the same.
Estimated revenue.
You post short form.
I do short. I do long. My longest videos are going up to 3 hours. Shorts I do post all the time. But you see, it's not even some. I would be homeless if I was waiting for my YouTube to.
But what about, so you're not monetized at all? Or
No,
it's
I mean, I'm waiting for these hours to get back to,
Oh, so you're almost there. How long have you been posting consistently and stuff?
Okay, I took a break for like a year. And I think that's where I lost
Yeah, and then you have to get those hours within a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I think I'm quite close. I'll try and push it.
Yeah.
And then I'll see from there. Now I can assess and actually speak from the context of somebody who's actually seeing the numbers.
Right.
But, from like past experiences, I would say like, I'm not sure if it's something that would be on, but let me not speak until I get my numbers right?
You can still get brand partnerships.
Oh yeah, actually I did have a brand partnership at 500 subscribers.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
And with that partnership, I was making close to $1,000 a month. So I was okay.
Yeah.
Until the marketing person said like, "Hey, I think we're giving this guy too much money."
What?
So yeah, I was just like,
Okay.
But then that's again what taught me like to try and focus on being more independent. Think of other different ways of making your money. That's why when I'm talking about things like crypto, government bonds, and other investments that I can just check on my phone and make them work for me, make them generate money for me, that's very important to me because in case anything else hits the fan, I'm still good.
That makes
sense. So what kind of investments do you look at? Because now, we've talked about crypto. Is it something that...
I have done crypto in the past, but I had like $2,000 in crypto, $2,000 in crypto, but somebody stole it. And ever since then, that was a little traumatizing. Because, they say like set it and forget it. But then what if you set it and then you forget it and then somebody steals it and then you go back and you can't find it?
Oh, but here's the thing, and I think I've talked about this. Crypto is like one of the safest ways and places to like invest or even just save and store money because it will always gain value at a higher rate than anything else that you can compare it to. But when money is stolen in crypto, it's because like maybe just you didn't do due diligence about something, somebody lied about a project, or somebody told you like transfer your USDT here or your crypto here and then I can make more money for you on your behalf.
I think my mistake was because I was mainly doing Bitcoin with Coinbase. But then I transferred it from Coinbase to a less reliable crypto system. I don't even remember the name of it. But when I was doing it, I think it was during the time where Ethereum and a lot of the other small like micro cryptos were just really taking off. And basically didn't know what I was doing. It was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And
Oh, you would have
yeah,
been so rich right now.
you think so? Yeah, I had like 2K. So right now it probably would have like doubled or tripled.
Yeah, it would have been triple, 4 times probably.
Yeah. So, but
And you'd have been putting, the thing I'm saying more, it's because probably if you understood how it works, you would have been like doing like your dollar cost averaging. Every month you're probably just throwing like, $200 there,
yeah,
150, and before you know it, like, because we can't ignore something that's growing worldwide. Because when you see like when you open Fox News right now, there's a special section where they're just talking about like crypto. So you can't ignore something like that, and you're seeing it go up. Like you'd rather just set your or just put a little bit of cash in there. Try opening an account in Binance and also just Coinbase, and then just put something there, and then just watch, and then learn slowly. If you ever need any tips,
did transfer it to Binance and like a couple other ones. Like but it's just
how did you lose it though?
I think somebody, because there's a lot of hackers and stuff. I think somebody did hack. It's not funny. That was $2,000.
No, it's funny because like I think even for my first time one, the most I've ever lost in crypto was probably $4,000 or $4,200.
And then how did you lose it? The market just tanked, or
No, because somebody. That's what I'm saying. Like how people lose money in crypto is like somebody saying they can invest. Take your money, put it in our platform. We know how to do better trades and everything, and we'll invest on your behalf. And then anytime you want to withdraw your money, you can withdraw. So what they do is like, they have like a whole website and everything, which is operational. And then you can always go there, check your money, it's there, withdraw. And then they just carry on with their project for like probably 6 months, get as many people as they can. And then one day you'll just come to the website and try and log in.
Dang.
You cannot be logged in, and your crypto is gone and your money is gone. So that's what happened. But otherwise, if I just stuck to Binance, Coinbase, and which other platform, like just that more reputable, like let me see. I would say, just Binance. Can do TradingView.
I think I would probably stick with Coinbase.
MetaMask. Coinbase is
has
good.
Never done me bad.
Yeah, even Binance is actually quite reliable. But Binance, you're using it for if you trade. If you trade, yes. But if you want to store like your money, you can just put your ETH. You can put it in MetaMask. You can put it on Coinbase, and you do have like the Solana wallet. But like those wallets are so sensitive because you also can't forget your password. I forget your password as well.
Yeah, I've actually heard stories when Bitcoin first took off. People didn't know their password to log back in, and imagine just knowing that you have like $10 million.
And it's gone. But I think that's why things like I like Binance because it has like your 2-factor authentication thing. You can, if you need to reset, you can do that. But things like MetaMask, they don't have that. You're given like 6 words that you're supposed to like remember. So you either take a picture, write them down, but you can't forget the order or the sequence. You forget that, your money is gone. And you're not calling any customer care. There's no customer care. Nope. Yeah. So it's just an interesting world to get into. But anyway, that's why I was saying like that's why I support Trump. And of course he freed Kodak Black, Lil Wayne. Hold on. Don't roll your eyes yet. Hold on. These are people like we still like. They're still black people that we like. Do you like their music?
Kodak Black. I'm not a fan, but if it comes on, I'll listen.
You listen?
Yeah.
Okay. And who else did I mention? Okay, Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. What about him?
When the accusations were there, Trump is the person who was like standing for.
When he was like a influencer, a celebrity?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. Like he was kinda like speaking out and just saying like, Michael Jackson wouldn't do that. He's like, good. Because you can't just say like all our black icons are just the worst people to ever be on earth.
No. But I feel like those are small anecdotal situations compared
to Michael
like,
Jackson was,
Yeah,
What
but
about Michael Jackson?
he is a very important person, and I like
To the
Michael
black
Jackson.
community, Michael
Yeah.
Jackson was. Not even black, like everybody.
So you think he likes black people and he has black people's best interests at heart?
No, here's the thing also as well, because we have to look at his track record and the people he's always been hanging out with.
So
and
like when he said,
without malicious intent, like just in general, even doing business with, compared to someone, Joe Biden, I've never even seen him like just around normal.
he was Barack Obama's vice president. And even now,
That's a political situation that he just had to be there. But
He
if
had
you
to
go
be
back
there?
in history, any interaction with black people,
did you hear about the 47 black federal judges that he appointed
who?
this month? Biden.
So that they can jail all the black men, right?
No.
Yes.
No, why would you assume that they're targeting black men?
Okay, maybe I wouldn't
So you
talk
think
on that because I don't know
Vice
the
President Harris was targeting black men too?
That's the rumor apparently, right?
Yeah, rumor.
Yeah, but
the
people.
facts,
But facts. What I'm talking about, like when it comes to Trump, his history, he has always interacted with a lot of black people. Let's just be not in a bad way. Like even entertainment. I know he was an entertainer and influencer, but we could see it.
I mean, black people are part of American culture, so I think that it would be like the bare minimum to interact with them.
Did you know they pulled out a picture of Trump standing next to, what's the lady name who sat on the bus, and is it Rosa Parks?
Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about his affiliations with the Nazi ancestral lineages as well?
No, but here's the thing. You can't change where you come from, but you can change where you are. Let's just be honest.
Yeah,
it's
and
the
then
same
a couple
reason.
years ago, he called Africa a shithole. So
I mean, listen, it depends on the context.
it
Have you ever
depends on the
heard at
context.
times when people say
What
things?
context would make that okay?
It's super corrupt. That's what he meant. You know that, right?
But so you're agreeing with
No,
the
wait,
statement.
hold on. Like, yeah,
So you're agreeing with that statement.
yes. Oh, wait. Do they have electricity in Nigeria? Do you know that?
Yeah, it's not stable, but they have electricity.
But do you know why?
I mean,
Do you know
due
why
to
people use
corruption
like
and
generators and everything?
colonization.
Can you imagine anywhere in the world, you've gone through like so many different countries where somebody would hold like the electricity supply so that they can sell generators?
I mean, yes, but I think when
You know that's
situations
wild,
like that,
right?
you also have to take in the fact that Nigeria was founded by a European man, and European influences have negatively impacted their
Yeah.
economy as well.
But when he says that, he's talking about such things. He's not saying that people are shit. You know that, right?
But he said Africa is a shithole.
I mean, listen, ask Africans who are staying here. Ask the people who are trying to swim across like the ocean so that they can just land in Europe and even just lay on the beach and either die trying to get to the other side just to change their lives. And even think about how many Nigerians now have really, you can see like in mainstream, maybe sports, somebody like Ngannou in the UFC and everything. But so many different people like from West Africa, you will hear their success stories after they struggled to go to America. But why? Because their countries, like the opportunities. I know for other people who are coming to Africa, it's maybe, let's just say maybe because you didn't grow up around. But even when we're talking about depression in young people right now, it's because like people are finishing, graduating school, but there are no jobs. Opportunities are not there. They're not as easy to get to as maybe people might think. And it's just not, if you don't have money in Africa, you might have a very different experience.
Yes, I do.
Let me just say
understand
that.
I am empathetic to that.
And the systems will not favor you. So if you're a content creator, you can't monetize. If you're an artist, some of the biggest artists, like let's say in Kenya, after streaming and everything, at the end of the year, after the government has collected all the money for like music and everything, some of the top artists will be given like, let's say, 3,000, 5,000, not dollars, Kenya shillings, at the end of the year. So when we talk about like Africa being a shithole, it's the systems, which let's not lie, the systems are not in
But I guess from my perspective, it's like it's not his place to say that. Like I feel like it is interesting to see how many Africans don't want to stand up for Africa and be like, we have our issues, but we're working on it, and we have enough respect for ourselves. We're not going to let you talk about us like that. Because like Black Americans, we're very prideful. We know we have our issues in our community, but we're not going to let a white person say that Black American culture is a shithole. Like, hell no.
No, first of all, listen, the thing about like Black Americans, like I've said, in general, you already bold. The culture is very strong. Nobody can take that away from. Like even if somebody tried to, you go somewhere in like South Sudan, you'll find somebody with a 50-cent T-shirt, hat and everything. Like your culture is so strong. And I mean, for people who were brought to America maybe as slaves, your culture is still so strong worldwide that can never be taken away from you. From hip hop, from music, even from music background and how it's influenced like other mainstream people and how they do music. It's so strong. It can never be taken away. That's for sure. Even if somebody, and that's why even when Black men are still being gunned down, like in the States, just from racism interactions and everything, you do speak out on it, right? The marches are being done and everything. But the bad people will still be bad people. So it's kind of like almost like not possible to end racism completely, but you can speak about it. It's the same way when he says like, Africa is a shithole. He's not lying.
But is it his place to say that? Like,
why not?
Because you should never let anybody just talk down on you like that.
No, it's not like an insult. He's talking about the systems. Because if it's specified, like Kenyans specifically, those people are like just the worst. They're the worst people to interact with. But if you just say it's a shithole, it's because of the systems. Because think about it, we have some beautiful weather, beautiful people. We win all the long distance runners in Kenya, first of all, long distance races. But so many other things, medical care. If you do not have
private medical care
in Kenya, it's I don't know whether you've tried going to like outside the city, like just some rural areas maybe. Have you been there?
Yeah, like even in Syokimau. I live in Syokimau. I mean, I know that's not very rural, but like,
still it's kind of like out of town.
Yeah, it is.
But can you see like probably other places where like
and even during backpacking, like I traveled through the country regions, and like I took a bus from Mombasa to Nairobi, from Dar es Salaam to Mombasa to Nairobi, and then Nairobi to Addis. So I did see a lot of rural areas. Yeah.
But I would want you to like just go to other slightly places where people like really have they live, they have food and everything, but there's just no hope for anything better in future. But it's just because of our systems. If our systems were just okay, but also, unfortunately, that's just like an African thing, which we can't change. People are protesting, dying and everything, but we can't really change it now. We have to wait for a whole generation of old people to go out, and then maybe the new ones will not be corrupt. But, we just have to give it time. And maybe, people will look at Africa differently.
Yes.
But if people know, even Americans, as you travel, like, you can just pay your way out of anything in Kenya. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Have you been arrested for anything?
No.
Okay. No, I'm just saying, like, petty things, like,
But I have heard, like, a police can arrest you for anything and then ask for a bribe. Yeah.
Even if he doesn't ask, you just offer, you're gone. There's a documentary that BBC put out where people are selling, like, babies. Kids, people stolen from hospital and stuff. You know how much kids were being sold for?
How much?
Around maybe $300 or less. That's what we mean exactly. But this is going like through like a whole collective system in the hospital where everybody's getting like their little chip and everything, and then the whole operation is still ongoing. That's what we mean by, shithole.
Okay.
In his defense.
In his defense.
Not unless he proves me wrong and then he says like, no, this is not what I meant. I actually meant, everybody's just like, no, I don't think that's what he meant. Honestly speaking, I don't think genuinely that's what he meant. Yeah. It's just our systems are broken and they might like really take a long time to fix.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that being said, we can't talk more about, politics is just a whole different other ballgame. But now, like, just when we're finishing up our segment, because I can see we've already hit like 1 hour, 30 minutes. Now, just keeping up with like relationships. When you talk about settling down, right? How's your dating life then?
Yes, my dating life. Well, I actually was in a relationship at the beginning of this year, living in Brazil.
Maybe I pressed that too soon. Too soon.
I mean, I wasn't even in Kenya.
It's too late.
I wasn't even in Kenya, so I wasn't a Kenyan. But yeah, when I was living in Brazil, I lived in Brazil the beginning of this year. I was in a relationship with an Afro-Brazilian. And that ended, of course. And so this year, I've really been focusing on me. I've been traveling a lot, really working on my self-discipline to work on the goals that I would like to achieve, the ambitions that I would like to achieve. And even living in Nairobi, like I've been here for 3 months, I have been on a few dates. And so, yeah, I would say I am open to the idea of possibly entering a dynamic that is like healthy and fulfilling and fruitful, but anything less than that, I don't think would really be worth my time.
But I'm just trying to wonder, because you're already used to doing so many different things for yourself. How do dynamics even come in when you're in a relationship?
I think like for me, if I connect with a person and they have the same values and beliefs, not even like exactly the same.
How will they have like, same beliefs? Because you're going to a different country. Like in Kenya, it would be like would you be a submissive wife? Would you cook and clean for your husband and obey, most importantly?
I would cook and clean, but I could also hire house help, but like obey. I mean, I don't really like the word what? I don't like the word obey.
That's in the Bible. That's in the Bible. Yes,
but obey, when I hear the word obey, I think of a parent-child. Like, I think of parent-child when I hear the word obey. Like, I would respect his opinion. And for me, I think my perspective as an American, I do prefer to work as a partnership because my opinion matters too. I do think my opinion, my perspective, my input matters too. So we can work together to move forward and, conquer whatever problems and to work towards solutions. But the word obey, like, I mean, and even when
that's the Bible. It's not me who put it there. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but like obey, it's just, and then what am I obeying? So what?
Hey, have you been to Uganda?
No, not yet.
Oh, you need to visit Uganda.
I know that women get on their knees and stuff, which that's good for them.
When the husband comes after a long day of work, you take his coat and everything.
Well, that's good for them.
You can wash his feet.
I would take his coat.
Wash his feet.
I would wash the feet.
Foot rub, and then go prep a nice hot meal.
I mean, I think that goes into acts of service, but I think things like that have to be reciprocal. Like if
no. The husband is not doing that. You know that, right?
No, not doing that exact thing, but if I'm giving acts of service to him, how is he showing his love to me? How is he showing acts of service to me, making me
providing?
Yeah, so like,
and if you're tired, you don't get a housemaid, you get a second wife.
But yeah, so.
No, but I'm just saying, those are cultural things that you might experience if you go to a different place.
Yeah.
And that's like a common thing.
Right.
So I'm just saying
Yeah, so I do understand there is a lot of cultural differences between African cultures and even within the Black community. Like even with the relationship that I had with the Afro-Brazilian, there was a lot of intercultural differences. Just because you're dating another person with Black skin does not mean y'all are going to think the same or agree the same. We had a lot of cultural clashes and intercultural differences in our relationship, so I am familiar with that. But like I have met like even some Kenyan men that have more of a open-minded approach. Like, I've met some pretty open-minded Kenyan men.
By open-minded, what do you mean? Like in what aspects?
Like, I've had Kenyan men tell me that they don't believe in gender roles. I've had Kenyan men tell me that they prefer to date women that make their own money and that, can bring their own money to the table, like, instead of being domesticated. I've had Kenyan men tell me they don't want a domesticated wife. They don't want the traditional, like, aspect because they grew up seeing that from their parents and they just don't desire that dynamic. I've had several like at least 4 Kenyan men tell me that they don't want a traditional wife or a domesticated wife in the same aspect. Like,
No, I respect that.
that's what they told me. And, I'm sure that a lot of Kenyan men do desire that. And I'm not saying that one is inferior to the other, but I do think that
Do you believe in gender roles?
I think that I understand how they could have their place in some relationships, but when I do think that in relationships, from my perspective, it should be a partnership and you should work on each other's strengths and weaknesses, but gender roles don't always align with the individual person's strengths or weaknesses. The man might have a passion for cooking and just naturally be a better cook. So are you saying that the man should never cook because of gender roles, even if he wants to cook or he's better at cooking? Stuff like
No,
that.
like, I mean, even when it comes to cooking, in general, men are better cooks. You know that, right?
Anyways, I'm just saying. But yeah, I'm just saying, like.
Tell me a female version of Gordon Ramsay.
Well, I think that a factor to that is also the patriarchy.
Now you see. I'm just saying, you just give me, just throw in some names.
Yeah, the female version. Well, there is no chef that is world renowned as Gordon Ramsay.
Even Salt Bay, just think about like but in general.
That's what I'm saying.
Even in Italy, who was making like the best food? Like all the people that you see in the kitchen.
But who taught them and who raised them on their food?
Their dads.
You think their dads was in the kitchen?
Okay, maybe like grandma's secret recipe. But I'm just saying, like, that's even not like the cooking thing is like almost like a myth right now. Because even if we start saying like some of the best cooks, if we pick like top 10 in the world, I think even for Gordon Ramsay, like Gordon Ramsay is world renowned, but I think even if you ask him, he would probably say the best cook he knows is his grandma. No, that's true. That's true.
So that's what I'm saying. Like world popularity is not always inherently.
No. But I'm just saying like how things have shifted now. You see, he took like the recipe ideas and everything from like grandma and everything, but now we do have like a place where I think I wouldn't say like we are confused. But it's kind of hard to say like, okay, this is exactly like their gender role for this person is like cooking and cleaning. No, like men can actually also like just cook good meals. But I think in a family setting, if you're settling down, you and your partner should be able to have that conversation like, okay, like what am I bringing? And I know people don't want to hear that thing of like, what am I bringing to the table? But it's so important to understand what your partner is good at and they're bringing to the room. Like when they're walking in, like what's like the strong aspect that they have.
Yeah, I agree.
So that you can balance it out.
Their strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I do believe that is what true partnership is. Not just saying like, when we get married, these are your roles because you're a woman and this is what I'm going to do because I'm a man. It's just based on the strengths and weaknesses of that individual person.
Now, as an American, as you're moving around and you see all these cultural differences, are there some things maybe, of course, you will definitely disagree with a lot of things, but I'm just trying to think, how are you able to disagree with some cultural things without necessarily offending people or just stepping away from like the situation? Because like, we have like even things like female circumcision in Kenya, which a lot of like cultures are still trying to push it. The government is trying to ban it. You have places like in northeastern Africa where we have like younger girls getting married off to older men, but that's cultural. And then there's the government now and maybe religious aspect of different things. How do you like just try not to step on people's feet when you're moving around as an American and then you see something that's like far-fetched from like what an American lives in? Because even when you're dating now, you have to put into consideration like their traditional background. What does it say?
I mean, for that, I would say I've been traveling for over a decade, and I have seen some things that made me uncomfortable. But yes, I do think that you have to learn how to detach from that and realize that that is their only lived experiences. And I do think that a part of colonization was dominating the world and telling the world that their way of thinking was right and the other culture was wrong. So I do think that you have to decolonize and understand that your perception is not the so all be all, because that is colonization. So go to a country and tell a culture that
This
the way
is wrong.
that they've been doing things for, millennia, for hundreds of years is wrong. And my perception is the only right way. And so even with things like, of course, with genital mutilization and child marriages, I don't agree with it. But I've never been in a situation where I was confronted with it, where it was in my face either.
That's why I'm saying, like, even in Kenya, it's beautiful when you're in Nairobi, in the coast. But I would want you to experience, like, just a few other things. Just move around, like, just the outskirts of the city. And just see traditional, things that people do. When you see, like, somebody with 2-3 wives, and you can actually just talk to them and, document. Because the best thing about, I think, Kenya is when you're going to do your content, they speak English. So, I mean, it's very easy from even somebody like upcountry to just be featured in your video and just talk to them and just hear their thoughts on what they think.
Yeah, I think that is very important, just to gather multiple different perspectives.
True. Now, here's the thing. I know we're close to 2 hours, and I still have like so many things to ask, but I don't want to push it past 2 hours. I'd rather like just save, because you're still around the country. I can still call you back, and I'm sure you've seen like I'm taking like what I do like seriously. So I'm sure you'll see I'm not wasting your time at all.
Yeah.
So I won't be wasting your time, and let's reschedule for like a part 2 because like I have questions for days. I have a lot to ask, and anybody who comes to my platform, I always try and learn a lot of things from them. And because, like even just for a woman traveling solo, I just knew one lady that I featured on my podcast, and she was Somali. And that was also like very different because she was Somali and she was living in UK, but she was traveling solo. So not married. I think she was in her 30s. And I kept on asking her, like, okay, so what do your uncles, brothers think? And how you're able to do everything? But a lot of things that she explained, it's almost like how you're explaining it. Just how you're pushing yourself to experience new things and maybe just grow better as a person by learning what people are doing worldwide. So I think I respect that, especially for like a woman. It's not easy, I'm sure. A guy, it's a very different experience. A woman traveling also, people are out here, I'm sure, trying to scam you, rob you, all those things. But we'll save that for part 2.
Right.
We'll save that for part 2.
The real tea.
Yeah. So, I mean, is there anything else that you have going on? Keep in mind, this episode, we're already in 2025 in this episode. You know that, right?
Okay,
So, if there's anything else that you have going on that you'd like maybe to put out for my audience, or what advice would you give my audience for people who are trying to, get their feet wet and just try the traveling solo thing?
Right. I would say the best advice that I can give when it comes to traveling solo is start locally. Maybe start with a staycation. Start by going to maybe a local hotel, especially if you would like to monetize your content. It would be great to reach out to hotels for collaborations. Even if they're not paying you monetarily, you could probably even save money, and it could be good practice to get your face out there and to create content to show to other hotels. So start locally, start within your own city with a staycation, and then maybe go to the coast, go a little bit further, and then next time, once you build up your confidence, you can go just outside the borders of your country, et cetera, et cetera. And so that would be my biggest advice, to start your solo travel journey, because it really is empowering, especially for women. And yes, I would just say, pursue your dreams, never let your dreams die, because you were given the dream and the vision that you have for a reason.
It's not too soon right now to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, and one more thing that I've realized before I just let you go. I haven't talked or mentioned your tattoos. Because is that something that started with? Like this one is so neat and well done.
Thank you, yes.
Just the lines, everything is so neat.
He was very talented. I actually got this in Nicaragua. So yeah, it is one of my favorites.
Is it who's the artist who did the thing?
I have him on Instagram. I don't remember his name. It was about 4 years ago, but yeah, I could send it to you. But yeah, he was an artist in Nicaragua, and it's interesting because tattoo culture is actually taboo in Nicaragua. So yeah, it was.
That work is so neat.
So it's just cool that.
Does it have a specific meaning?
Well, this style is actually inspired by the Brazilian style of tattooing. And I just found the photo, and this was before I even knew that I was going to move to Brazil. I just fell in love with the art, and I showed him, and he put his Nicaragua style on it. So, yeah.
No, the tattoo is dope. And then how else, because is that something that, started off like early in you or?
Yeah, when I was 18, I got my first tattoo, and I have like a few, but I'm not
Let's see this.
Very, very tatted. Yeah, compared to, it says gadabout, which is basically someone who loves traveling.
God?
Yeah, gadabout.
What does that mean?
Someone who loves traveling.
And what language is that?
It's an English word.
English?
Yeah. Gadabout. Yeah, so.
Is that like an English dictionary word?
Yeah.
Really?
You can look up the definition. Yeah.
Guys, you see, I'm learning so many different things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Travel. I mean, tattoos have been something that I've always been interested in. I don't have as many as I would like, but hopefully one day.
This stands out, like even on your YouTube channel, like a lot.
I got this when I was very young.
Really?
I was just, I guess, very bold.
How young were you?
Maybe 20.
Wait, okay. Now, when it comes to tattoos, the only reason I've never gotten one is like I'm always thinking like, what if I get under them? I don't like it further down the line of a couple of years. Are there any tattoos that you got that you regret getting?
I would just say this one because I went to the wrong artist and I didn't even finish it, as you can see. He just wasn't a good artist. But I would like to get it covered up one day. But that was just due to the artist. Yeah.
He wasn't good, or?
In my opinion, like, it was...
Did you notice when it's a bit too late, or how...
Yeah, I mean, like, it was supposed to be, I stopped the session and I told him that I would come back later, but I never came back. But that's why I was just like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna come back for another session. It was actually in Italy. But yeah, I didn't like his attitude, and that's just the name of the game.
He even had a bad attitude?
Yeah, like, you're not gonna vibe, I guess, with every tattoo artist, and that taught me what to look out for, you know, but yeah, so... I'm going to get it covered up one day.
Okay, now, because of when we're speaking about tattoos, I don't know where this is, but there's a documentary. A couple of YouTubers have done it. There's this old lady who's somewhere in Southeast Asia. She's one of the last people who does like the tattoo thing with the piercing.
The traditional style.
Yeah, the traditional style. It's just one person, and I don't know which specific country is, but I'm guessing as a traveler, just try and look out for her, because I think she's just one of those few people who are left.
Yeah, I believe she's in Thailand.
Yeah, and she's super old. I hear she's like in her 80s maybe. So we have a couple more years if you can go and get a tattoo from her.
Yes.
I think that would be like really dope if you're a tattoo person and get a stamp from. Because if I go to Thailand, I would get a tattoo from her. Just because of like the stories people have.
Sentimental value,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
And I will have a story to share about the tattoo as well. So, you know, we'll break down more about tattoos like on the next episode. Because for now, we definitely have clocked 2 hours.
Right.
I have to let her go. But otherwise, thanks for coming to the podcast.
Yes, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
You're doing like, a great job, because like you can only imagine, like I saw your channel and I was like, okay, this is like so interesting. I reached out to you. After a week, I thought like, I don't think she'll respond. And then you actually responded. And then you respond. And I was like, okay, this is like, because anybody who responds to my DM, I always look at it like, okay, this is the kind of person I'm supposed to collaborate with. If somebody doesn't respond, it shows me a clear indication I'm not supposed to work with them anyway. And thanks for the amazing episode.
Yeah.
Hope to do like a couple of more with you.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
So let's see how it goes.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And I just want to wish you all the best in your journey and keep doing what you're doing. As much as you're putting stuff out there and maybe at times you're not sure who you're reaching, I really found your content intriguing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
And very bold. I'm not eating food from random places anywhere I go. So, I mean, that's just me. So I respect when I see somebody like in the middle of the city eating and trying out different things. Yeah, and just interacting with people and even just recording in public. It takes guts and so many other mental things just to put into consideration to do that. So I have to give you your flowers for that. Respect that.
I appreciate it.
Okay, so till next time, tell people where they can find you and your social media handles and everything.
So my YouTube channel, all my social media channels are the same. YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok is For the Culture. And so please reach out, connect with me, and I appreciate you inviting me.
Would you ever get a tattoo that says For the Culture?
Maybe one day, why not?
Okay, and then try do some, I don't know if that would make sense, like, if you can make merch for your people as your community grows online. Some merchandise, why not?
Yeah, I do have one merch design, but I would like to update it. It's on my website. I do have a website, fortheculture.co.
Okay. So, guys, make sure you follow her, and just any other details or questions you have, especially with people. A lot of people want to travel, but I think she's just like the perfect person. You can ask any question when it comes to travel, and just so many other cultural differences. There are some places if I go, I wouldn't last for a week or two. And she's done months and everything. And most importantly, as a Black person. So that shows it's possible. And, so why not?
Yes.
So till next time, guys, I have to say goodbye. We have to say goodbye.
Ciao. Thank you.
The Kisscapades podcast is your gateway to holistic growth and personal transformation. Together, we'll unlock the secrets to living a life of health, wealth, love, and happiness. So make sure to tune in every week and join us as we explore the essence of what it means to truly thrive. And lastly, show us some love and support in our social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, basically all the social media platforms that, support podcasting will definitely be there. Even with the short clips and reels, you can find us there. And lastly, don't be shy with feedback, suggestions, or any questions that you might have in regards to the episodes or our podcast. It's the Kisscapades podcast. Goodbye.